People think becoming unstoppable requires money, contacts, a perfect background, or some secret strategy only successful people know. But Jack Ma proved the exact opposite. He had nothing. No money, no family influence, no connections, no approval, no privilege, and yet he built something the world could not ignore. Because he understood a truth that most people never discover. Your greatest upgrades cost $0, but they change everything. The reason most people stay stuck is not lack of resources, but lack of internal upgrades. They are waiting for tools, but they are ignoring the tools already inside them. They chase knowledge, but ignore discipline. They collect information, but reject transformation. They want motivation without responsibility. And that is why they remain ordinary in a world where they could have been unstoppable. Every year, people buy new phones, new clothes, new gadgets, new subscriptions, new courses, but they still carry the same limited mindset. They expect their life to change without changing themselves. But evolution does not happen through consumption. It happens through upgrades, internal ones. You don't need money to upgrade your character. You don't need privilege to upgrade your discipline. You don't need talent to upgrade your consistency. You don't need support to upgrade your courage. These upgrades are free, but the value they create is priceless, and the people who embrace them rise above everyone else. They outperform their own past. They outgrow their own excuses. They outdevelop their own fears. They become what Jack Ma describes as ordinary people with extraordinary clarity.
The first upgrade that costs $0 but makes you unstoppable is the upgrade of self-awareness. Most people live their entire life without truly understanding themselves. They copy others, follow trends, seek approval, and run away from silence. They don't know who they are, what they want, what they fear, or where they're going. But self-awareness is the foundation of power. It is the mirror that exposes your weaknesses, your patterns, your distractions, your emotional triggers, and your wasted potential. People fear this mirror because it forces them to confront the truth. But the truth is the starting point of transformation. Jack Ma once said, "If you don't understand yourself, you will never understand your path." Self-awareness is not about judging yourself. It is about observing yourself without excuses. Why do you procrastinate? Why do you lose focus? Why do you fear discomfort? Why do you tolerate disrespect? Why do you repeat the same mistakes? When you understand the root, you can change the result. Awareness is free, but it turns you into someone who cannot be manipulated, distracted, or misdirected. You begin to operate your life intentionally instead of emotionally, and that alone makes you unstoppable. The second upgrade that costs nothing but transforms everything is self-discipline. People think discipline is a punishment. Successful people know discipline is salvation. The world is full of talented people who failed. The world is full of intelligent people who never grew. The world is full of dreamers who never took action. Lack of discipline kills more dreams than lack of opportunity. Jack Ma wasn't the smartest in his class. He wasn't the strongest candidate in job interviews. He was rejected over and over, but he had discipline to keep going, keep improving, keep building. Discipline is doing what is needed, not what is comfortable. It is waking up when you don't feel like it. It is working when your friends are relaxing. It is learning when others are wasting time. It is staying consistent even when results are slow. Discipline is free, but it makes you rare. The moment you upgrade your discipline, the world cannot ignore you anymore. You move faster, stronger, clearer, and more focused than 99% of people who rely only on motivation. Motivation fades, discipline stays. And when discipline is in your system, you become unstoppable.
The third upgrade that costs $0 but multiplies your growth is learning to control your emotional reactions. Most people ruin opportunities not because they lack talent or intelligence, but because they cannot manage their emotions. They get angry too easily, offended too quickly, excited too fast, disappointed too often. They argue and silence would win.
They panic when patience was needed. They break relationships because of temporary emotions. They destroy progress because of impulsive decisions. Jack Ma understood early that emotional intelligence is more powerful than academic intelligence. He said, if you want to be successful, learn to handle your emotions. Emotions are natural, but reactions are choices. When you learn to pause instead of explode, reflect instead of react, observe instead of attack, you gain an edge over everyone who behaves impulsively. Controlling your emotions does not mean suppressing them. It means not letting them control your actions. And when you become emotionally stable, people trust you more, opportunities open, and your path becomes clearer. Emotional control is free, but it makes your value skyrocket in every environment. The fourth upgrade that costs nothing but changes your entire future is the upgrade of your environment standards. You don't need money to control who you allow into your mind and into your life. Most people are held back not by their abilities, but by their surroundings. They spend time with complainers, gossipers, lazy thinkers, insecure people, jealous friends, and energy-draining companions. They share their dreams with those who laugh. They share their ideas with those who doubt. They share their energy with those who waste it. But you cannot grow in the wrong environment. And the right environment is not something you find, it is something you create. You create it by raising your standards, by limiting access, by refusing negativity, by saying no to drama, by protecting your attention like a treasure. This costs $0, but it makes you unstoppable because your mind becomes clear, positive, and forward-focused. And the clearer your mind, the faster you rise.
The fifth upgrade that costs $0 is communication. Not speaking more, but speaking better. Most people talk a lot but say very little. They try to impress people with fancy words or long explanations, but influence comes from clarity. Jack Ma was never the most technical person in the room, but he could communicate with energy, simplicity, and conviction. Communication is not about sounding smart, it's about connecting. When you speak clearly, confidently, and respectfully, people listen. When you express your ideas simply, people understand. When you communicate with calm authority, people respect you. Communication is free, but it becomes a superpower when you train it daily. People follow those who can express value, direction, and purpose. And when you master communication, the world begins to see you as a leader. The sixth upgrade that costs $0 is protecting your focus. The most valuable currency of this generation is attention. Everyone wants her attention. Apps, platforms, notifications, gossip, entertainment, trends, drama, ads, influencers. If you don't take control of your focus, someone else will. Most people fail not because they're incapable, but because they are distracted. They start something, get distracted, stop midway, start something new, get distracted again, and the cycle continues. Jack Ma succeeded because he focused on one thing long enough for it to grow. Focus is more important than intelligence. Focus is more important than ideas. Focus is more important than motivation. When your mind is scattered, your progress is slow. When your focus is sharp, your results multiply. Protecting your focus costs nothing, but it makes every minute of your life more powerful. The seventh upgrade that costs $0 but makes you unstoppable is accountability to yourself. Most people blame everything except themselves. Their family, their country, their luck, their friends, their environment, their past, their mistakes, their circumstances. They are always the victim. But unstoppable people take responsibility for their lives. They don't wait for someone to save them. They don't wait for permission. They don't wait for circumstances to change. They change themselves first. Jack Ma said, "Do not complain, look for opportunities." Accountability means holding yourself to a higher standard, even when no one is watching. It means admitting your weaknesses without shame. It means correcting your mistakes without hiding. It means pushing yourself without needing validation. Accountability costs nothing, but it builds character that cannot be broken. These 7 upgrades cost $0, but they create a version of you that is rare and respected. You become the person people rely on, trust, follow, and admire, not because you are perfect,
but because you evolved. But here's the truth most people don't want to hear. These upgrades require discomfort. They require honesty. They require patience. They require sacrifice. That's why so few people adopt them. They prefer easy entertainment instead of hard reflection. They prefer temporary pleasure instead of long-term progress. They prefer blaming the world instead of upgrading themselves. But if you are willing to embrace these upgrades, even one at a time, your life will not remain ordinary. You will become unstoppable, not through luck, but through intentional evolution.
Jack Ma often said that the biggest capital is not money. It is your mindset, your attitude, your resilience. These upgrades are the proof. They don't cost money, but they buy you a future that money alone cannot secure. They make you disciplined, aware, respected, focused, emotionally grounded, consistent, and powerful. And once you build these internal foundations, the external success becomes a natural consequence. You don't become unstoppable when the world believes in you. You become unstoppable when you believe in yourself enough to upgrade who you are, without excuses, without waiting, without needing validation. That is how extraordinary people are created. They start with $0, but they invest in themselves until the world has no choice but to notice.